I've been listening to these guys for years. And they wrote a song, and the first 4 lines of the song actually accurately wrap up exactly what the back half of our course is. I hope we have volume. I didn't check it before. I gotta see if it works. Nope. Yeah, we do. Yeah, these guys are naturally good. This is how you guys look in the morning. Minus the underwear and dark ass.
It's so easy to defend the status quo. Everyone's so cool and cynical. When you see the end, don't justify the means. It's just that 188
That 4 lines. Actually, you can take out the second one because I think you just put that in to rhyme with quote. Cynical rhyme with quote, kind of. The 3 lines that remain describe what is called hypothesis testing. It actually describes perfectly what is hypothesis testing, which is all those studies you just saw back there, all those studies that were referenced, they all dealt with what's called hypothesis testing. You have an hypothesis, and you want to either support or refute it based on data. So the way every study goes, let's go back. Pick one of those studies we saw earlier. Which one do you want to chit-chat about? We'll use one as an illustration.
Coffee.
Coffee! Boom. And it was death rate. I think it was risk of early death or something like that. Let's call it death rate. I can't say death rate. Death rate's 100%. You're going to die someday.
Health risk.
Health risk. However we did. Let's define a health risk. Type 2 diabetes. High blood pressure. Let's go with that. One seems logical. Diabetes doesn't seem logical unless you're drinking like a Starbucks 700 calorie sugar. I finally had a cup of coffee that made me want to vomit. It was one of those Starbucks like just whipped cream. I was like, let's try one of those. I got halfway through. I'm like, I want to die. So let's say it's high blood pressure. Let's say it's high blood pressure. High blood pressure. Let's see if coffee increases high blood pressure. How would we do that? How would we do that?
Take somebody's blood pressure, then give them coffee.
One person?
Well, people.
I think a bunch of people, yes? Good.
And then give them a certain amount of coffee.
A fixed measurement, 8 ounces. We got a nice definition of a cup of coffee, good. Maybe more if we're trying to see like gradations of it, good.
And then take it again after a certain amount of time.
Okay, what are we looking for?
Increase blood pressure.
Need to define what it is.
Good, we have to define what an increase is. I was kind of fishing for that. We have to define what an increase is. Although we kind of have a tool, don't we? If we have taken their blood pressure ahead of time, let's say if you got 30 people, take their blood pressure ahead of time, 30 people. We then have a margin of error around the average blood pressure for those 30 people. We can then give them their servings of coffee maybe over a week or 2 weeks or 2 months or something like that. Measure their blood pressure again. Create a confidence interval around that. What are we looking for then? What are we looking for? If we have a confidence interval for high blood pressure here or blood pressure here, and if we want to support that coffee is negatively or in general influencing blood pressure, where would the other confidence interval have to be? Outside of that confidence interval, yes. That would be the idea. You're looking for a minimum measurable difference around that interval, correct? So here's the idea. When you do hypothesis testing, you go in, believe it or not, you go in saying, you know what, coffee isn't going to have an effect. And you look to be proven wrong. You look to show that something changed. So that's what the status quo is talking about. The status quo is, you know what? Coffee, with or without coffee, the blood pressure is going to be unchanged. But then you collect the data back, and it shifts over this way or over that way. And you say, huh. And that's where I love the end don't justify the means. The end of your result contradicts the status quo. And you have to change your thinking about your original belief. I love hypothesis testing. It's like inside out. It's like inside out logic. You start by assuming whatever you're trying to prove is not going to work, and it ends up, if you can support it, it ends up showing the opposite of that. This is the traditional method of hypothesis testing. I'm going to make you guys a video for, can I do it before next class? I think I can. Yeah. I don't have time to do it. I look at the clock. I don't have time to do it. I have an idea of what's called a proof by contradiction, which will hopefully make a little more sense than what I just described about the whole opposite assumption disproving thing. But what we'll do is we'll come back to this idea on Thursday. We'll see you guys again on Thursday. I'll send you a progress report ASAP as soon as I get stuff back from Emily. We'll pick up where we left off. Thank you.